Hi, I'm Natalee. The LSAT kind of terrified me. My diagnostic, I think, was around like a 135. It was pretty overwhelming, especially when you look at schools' medians. I felt like I would never get a score high enough. And as a full time student, and someone who is on the executive board of multiple clubs and someone who works, I barely had enough time to do my homework and, have a social life, let alone study for this very important exam. So I was just terrified of the LSAT. I remember looking up like master's programs, like just something else that I could do. I felt like I couldn't do it alone and I needed someone to teach me an effective method of learning. But there's so many different companies out there, it gets overwhelming. So I joined the Facebook LSAT group and everyone was recommending Troy. I hired Troy as my LSAT tutor because he was very honest with me. I'm grateful that I found someone that could teach me such a difficult exam. I got pretty lucky. It's like someone who is your professor, but also your friend, someone that just wants to see you excel and will not sugarcoat things for you, which is like what you need as in an LSAT tutor, or you're just going to waste your own time and like you're funny. And I feel like you have a really good way of like making things like fun. And I feel like you just teach students in a way that is so catered to them based on different learning styles. So I feel like you're pretty adaptable. That's your tutoring style. Thanks to Troy and his tutoring, I ended up scoring well enough to get into my top school, Duquesne School of Law. And I got more than half of my tuition in scholarships. It was around 32,000 per year. So it was a $96,000 scholarship. I really love the tutoring. I am the kind of person that needs to set small goals in order to achieve big ones. So I liked that Troy gave me homework assignments specifically catered to what I was struggling with and what we were working on. It honestly felt like just taking a class, which for me, that's the best way to learn. And I felt like the app was super easy to use because I'm a student who also works almost full time. So whenever I had like a spare minute at work, I just whip out my phone and do like just diagram a logic game or do a couple questions. It doesn't feel like you're sitting down and studying for this big, scary exam. It just feels like you're doing homework and taking notes. Tutoring was really nice because it held me accountable to set a time during the day or during the week to work towards my goals. And so that was really motivating, especially in the summer as someone who like just turned 21 and lives with a bunch of 21-year-olds. It's like kind of hard to stay motivated when everyone around you is just partying. So I really like tutoring to hold myself accountable because I know so many people that didn't go through tutoring, didn't get the score they wanted on the LSAT, and now they can't apply. I always heard that logic games were going to be tough to learn just because they're something like that a student has never seen before. But as my sessions with Troy continued and we got more advanced into logic games and more homework assignments and stuff, and just keep repeating and reviewing with Troy, I feel like the part that I was struggling on with logic games clicked, which kind of made like the whole thing click. Logical reasoning just wasn't clicking either at first. And then because Troy and I spent so much time on logical reasoning, I eventually started taking practice exams where I would only miss 3 to 5 questions in the whole section. So when I actually took the LSAT, I was actually shocked how easy and confident I felt when I was taking the logical reasoning section. If I remember, I kind of started out strong with reading comprehension because I'm used to seeing text like that, just because of like my undergraduate major. But thanks to Troy and his tutoring, I got the skills that I not only needed to excel on the LSAT, but also feel more confident in test taking and writing essays and anything related to school. I have to write a lot of like argumentative pieces for my political science major, and I realized I was just building them off how we learned in the LSAT. And Troy actually looked over all of my outlines for all of my essays that I wrote for the law school that I got into, my personal statement, my resume, and all of my optional essay outlines as well. Yeah, it was extremely helpful. I feel like because as undergrads, we don't really like know how to write a personal statement and what exactly the law school is looking for. It's nice to have someone to kind of guide you on what exactly to say and how to word your own thoughts. Every single time I had like a question about something or I just wanted you to like check my work, I would send you a text, like literally anywhere. I'd be in class, I'd be at home, and like you would always answer and take the time to really evaluate what I said to get me in like the correct way of thinking. And you really took the time to make sure I understood what you were texting me about.